Namaskar. Welcome to episode 75 of Ask Sumit. We have a lot of things to share with you, including some breaking news from Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Let's first welcome our guest, Sumit PG. Sumit ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
Jai Sri Ram, Radhe Radhe sir. All good and fine by your Ashirwad and Kripa of Lord Mahakal. Namaskaram to you and all our brothers and sisters across the world.
So this Navarro side story continues to happen here and there. See, what happened was things were going up. Then what happened was Trump back. He came back and said he's a good friend. Modi is a good friend and so on. And Modi also reciprocated. So we thought that, okay, now both sides, tempers are cooling. But somewhere Navarro feels that he needs to still make a point. How seriously should we be taking this statement? Because he's not taking aim at Elon Musk and X. I'm a little bit at a loss to understand somebody who's supposed to be an intellectual in the Republican Party. Why is he doing all these things? So perhaps you can give us a perspective from the Indian point of view, Sumitji.
Namaskar, sir. We'll start in the name of Lord Sri Ganesh. We have to decode it very systematically. What Navarro is doing, in my opinion, is a part of a playbook which they are unfolding. Look, there are all the people who are working. It's not only Navarro. It's 𝗤𝗧𝗏, it's 𝗏𝗏𝗏, it's Navarro, it's 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗏. They're all working in a tandem, except Marco Rubio. I have to give credit. He's not getting into this murky business. Except Marco Rubio, everybody else is into the game. Look, what is the big idea, sir? Navarro started hinting. Yesterday we had our morning show at 10. After that, I was tracking. This Navarro I keep on tracking all the time. I was tracking him and I was saying, what is in his mind? What does he want to do? Look, he got whacked on the Elon Musk's platform because he tried to put a tweet and Elon put a thing that people can, it's a notes where people can put the facts. When too many facts started coming, he started hitting Elon and saying your platform is all crap, propaganda and all. That is old news. But what is his bigger agenda? I think the bigger agenda which Navarro is hinting at, and a couple of right-wingers from US, MAGA supporters are hinting at, they are trying to tell Trump, you must put secondary tariffs, which we know. Trump tried to push and cajole Europe to put secondary tariffs on India, that we know. Navarro is trying to hit the heart of India. He is trying to propose, which is official now, why doesn't America put tariffs on the services which are getting imported from India into America? Now the services are software and software services, and services are other services which can be consulting, BPO, a lot of other services. Now if I look at my numbers, what my numbers tell me, the number for 24 when we completed last year, I think 110 billion for software and software related services, and then you have good around $41.3 billion for other services. So if I add the two, Sri sir, it comes to be around $150 billion. Now, if you look at our software companies, the biggest software company, TCS, Capgemini, Tech Mahindra, and all of them, 60% of the business comes from US, 60%, right? And if you look at the margins these companies make, they make around 20 to 28% somewhere in that margin. What is the total IT market of India, or IT capability of India? $263 or $283 billion, either of the two numbers. Maximum mark 60% US, margins 23 to 28%. And last year, these all companies have only grown at 5%. Because one, they're getting a lot of problems, and secondly, AI is giving them a really tough time. So the companies are not able to grow at exponential pace what they were going earlier. Now, what are they trying to do? First, they told you, look, we are putting a lot of restrictions on H1B. Then Putnik comes and says H1B is a scam, right? So basically, when you don't, and then Patel Navarro says, you're taking American jobs. Now, when you put crabs on the H1B, so the flow of manpower into the system stops. What will you do? You will hire a lot of local manpower, where your costs will go up, right? That's one. You don't let a lot of Indian students get into the universities, then get H1B and stay in America. That's point number two, because you think that Indians are taking your jobs. Point number three, when India is not coming to pressures, and India said that I am going to buy more and more Russian oil. So what did they do? Exactly what did the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 want yesterday. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 said that India has to come to the negotiating table. It's a matter of time. We'll get them to the negotiating table. For that, we have to make sure that India is kind of, what does India want to, what does India has to do for that? He said there are 3 conditions. You have to stop buying Russian oil, but on the contrary, from 34%, India might move to 40% Russian oil. You have to get out of BRICS. Get out of BRICS. And third is you have to support US dollar. These are the 3 conditions. You cannot let your biggest customer go away from you. It doesn't make any sense. Bravado is a false state of mind. That is what Lutnick said yesterday. Now, this is what we were knowing. We know they're planning something big. By that time, the fillers were out that, what they're trying. Navarro, on the contrary, is trying with all those things happening. Though, I will quote Piyush Goyal, our talks with US are on. They're not called off. It's not that India is cajoled and pushed to a corner. When they got pushed to a corner, they came to a negotiating table. No, the talks are on. We never said the talks are off. Now, Navarro wants all these services to be taxed. Now, what will happen? Imagine you are taxing these services. It goes like this. Now, first of all these entities have an American office. So whatever business you are doing in America, you are sending it to India and all. But you also pay taxes in America. You're paying, or everybody's paying a taxes in America. Now, if you impose this tariff, which Trump has the powers to impose under IEEPA, that is International Emergencies Economic Powers Act, which gives Trump the power to put even services on tariff. Let's say there's a tariff and the tariff is 25 or 50%, same. What happens is that you will have a double whammy. You will be paying the American tax and then you will be paying a surplus tax. You will be paying a double tax, or you will be paying a protection fee in a way, if I can call it. What will be the impact? Your margins, which are in double digits, will come to single digits, but most of the companies will survive. Mid-tier companies will have a lot of problem. Smaller companies and smaller startups will get into a lot of problem. So what will happen, because your problem is you cannot replace a TCS or a Tech Mahindra or a Capgemini, even if you want to, because there are no companies which are of this size who can take the work. So what you want to get this margin, which is around 25-26% to single digit. The margins will come to single digit. The business will not be very profitable. Business is not growing because of the lot of geopolitical uncertainties. Then there's a challenge of AI, which is sitting over and above you. So this jewel in the crown of India, that is $300 billion industry, which is incidentally more than the GDP, or incidentally equal to the GDP of Pakistan, will be impacted. When this gets impacted, the earnings per share, the returns per share, the returns per bonds has to come down. Even the share value might come down. And if this share value starts coming down, then the India's capability to attract foreign investment will come down, right? And when that comes out, that somewhere down the line, I think Lutnick, who comes from this stock market background, was a Wall Street guy, he has a grudge. He is looking at the American companies who are working on a PAT of 1, 2, 3, 4%. He doesn't like these companies working on PAT of 20, 25%. He's not comfortable with that. In the tech, India is coming up, because ultimately this is tech. They are not comfortable India is coming up in the tech, because America has 2 products, tech and arms. They are the 2 biggest exporters, and of course, oil. So they don't want India to come up in the tech. So now, if this is imposed, this will be a big body blow to India, and then you will think that you will be forcing Modi to come to the table. When Modi will have to come to the table, your precondition is already there: stop buying Russian oil, because you believe because of the Russian oil this all is happening, which is not true. So this is the bigger game plan. When he again got what, then Elon came. Elon said, without taking Navarro, though he talked Elon replies, look, there's nothing like that. It's a very fair platform. We let people to put in their facts and figures. Let the people make the perceptions. Let people kind of make their decisions, who's right, who's wrong. And the Grok, who's the AI of Twitter or X, will do the fact checking. So my platform is very transparent. You put a tweet, I put a note, people will come and put their facts. Grok can do a fact check, and based on that, it will do interpretation. And let people who are watching it make their own, make their kind of own interpretations. Now, this did not go well with Peter Navarro. He came and he started getting abusive, because I think he got exposed. He got badly exposed. He got badly shaken. Now, he's literally saying, the language which he used. First, he says it's all blood money. So from laundry mart, it has become blood money. And while as it is very clear, Bharat is buying this for its, hydrocarbon security, for its fuel security, as a part of our ongoing policy. We are not trying to make money out of this. This is just to keep our national interest intact. He says this is blood money. And the kind of English which he uses, when I kind of try to explain what the English is, there's a lot of American slangs in it, which means shove it down your. That is what he means about this report. This is all crap, is BS, shove it down your, you know what. So this is what the Navarro means. He's kind of getting rattled. He's really getting walked out, because now the hit is on this. And today, Trump has kind of indicated he might seriously look into that. So if this industry is hit, if our services industry is taxed, 25 to 50% will still survive, but the margins will be razor thin. It will be the shame of the industry will go. And of course, there'll be some job losses in India. Will be job losses in India. And that this job loss will be used as a failure of Modi's policy, will be used as a failure of India's foreign policy. That is what the bigger game plan seems to be. Now, will Trump go ahead and do it? I don't know. Can he really do it? Yes, he's fully capable of doing it. Will it be a big escalation? Yes, it will be a big escalation. And then Peter Hegseth came last night and he said, look, I'll request Europe to put secondary tariffs on people who are buying Russian oil. You know, it's very directly oriented to India. So you're asking Europe to put tariffs on us. You're stopping our services. You're trying to tax them. And then you're putting conditions. Okay, these three conditions are there. If you want to come and do business with you, we are the biggest economy in the world. We are a $30 trillion economy. We're your biggest customer. Bravado is like tomfoolery. It doesn't help. That is what 𝗏𝗏 says. So if I look at 𝗏𝗏, if I look at Scott Bessent, and if I look at Peter Navarro, and even Hegseth today, they're all trying to push it down like this. They're all trying to channelize it down. This is what the mega plan is. This is to kind of, get India worked out. Though there was a good rebuttal from Elon Musk. All our guys have rebutted him, but they are running agenda here. They don't have anything which has to do with logic. They're not coming near to logic. This industry, in my opinion, is the next target. Today, we were very happy, because goods doesn't really matter as such. $44 billion we lost, but still we could survive. But now, if the services get taxed, that is a part which is going to have I would say a sizable blow at our economy and a sizable dent to the IT industry. But there will be repercussions, because Americans are making around $65 to $85 billion of profit from India, revenue from India. I think those all revenues will start getting taxed. India will start imposing tariffs on Google, Facebook, and all those American tech here, which are not there. So I don't know how far does Peter Navarro want to take it, because if you cross this red line, then India has to retaliate. And goods, we had an option not to retaliate, because it was in our interest not to retaliate. But if services get hit and taxed, then you are trying to hit the heart of India, then India has to retaliate. And we'll be retaliating by, charging the services. We will be putting tariffs on repatriation of money. There are a lot of things which can be done. I mean, there's around 15 to 17 things which are there out in the market as tools available to kind of pay back. Let's hope we don't kind of go into that way. Let's hope it kind of settles down. And let's hope Peter Navarro, whatever he's talking is this mental crap, is not what the Trump thinks. What I was looking today, if I look at what Hegseth was saying, and if I look at what Trump has been saying in the morning, it doesn't look to me impossible for going those B and C sets of secondary tariffs, which includes putting tariffs on services. And IEEPA is a provision which gives him those powers to put. He cannot put for all the countries, but if he wants to single out India, he can easily do it. So it is getting a bit tough for Modi government. They are trying to put a lot of pressure on Modi government. They are irked with what is happening. That is the sum total, sir. Why it is happening? Who are the players? And one last sentence before I hand it over to you, sir. It is all coordinated. 𝗏𝗏, Scott Bessent, Hegseth, Navarro, then Trump. All five. And Marco Rubio luckily is not into this. That is where it is. And everybody is kind of backing up each other's claim. That is where it looks like. And unfortunately, services is impact.
Thank you so much, Sumit. One thing that we need to keep in mind in United States viewers, the stock market literally determines your state of being. If the market is going up, people feel prosperous. If it's going down, people don't feel prosperous. Now, what this new move to tax services industry of India It's like, cutting off your nose because you don't like your face. Why I say that is I have done this many times now, and all these companies whose stocks are riding sky high, the Magnificent Seven, Apple, Google, Microsoft, this, that, all these companies are having these sky high earnings per share valuations because money is scared. Europe is staring down war, so money from Europe is coming in, money from China is coming in because they don't know who's going to do what, and many of the mid-level politicians in China, they are parking their money in the United States. I've been saying this for close to 10-15 years now. It's been going on. So in United States is being seen as a safe haven right now. And
Correct.
Because the money has nowhere else to go, it is going into those stocks that it is, thinking, okay, these are the tech company drivers, therefore we'll put the money here. Unfortunately, all these companies, they lie on one of the records that they state to the people. What that is revenue per employee. Revenue per employee, if you take a look at Google or Apple or anyone, it is upwards of $1.5 to $1.6 million. I haven't checked it recently, but I'm just giving you mota. Don't kill me on numbers. I'm giving you a philosophy here. $1.5 to $1.6 million per year. Okay, let's say the person makes $300,000 a year. That's 5 times return on investment on each employee. That's what these companies claim, which is what drives their stock market price up. What they conveniently omit is, if you take any of these companies, I'm willing to gamble my reputation on this, close to 50% are consultants who are not considered as
employees
payroll in the employee revenues. So what is really 1.5 million is actually only 750,000. Suddenly these valuations don't look that good anymore. And then what happens if this reality hits home? And this reality will hit home, because another thing that they are hiding is the subsidization that comes from the Indian wing of these companies, because they are paying much less in India. Google India pays much less than what Google US pays. I think it is 50% or something. Again, look, don't go by the numbers. It's definitely cheaper in India than in US, right? So when all these things happen, what are the problems that you'll face? If they let go of, then there is another thing that Trump has said yesterday, that he will forbid US companies from having an office in India. And that's a very drastic measure. I mean, all these things will go and hit the stock market, viewers. And stock market is something that Trump pays very close attention to. His time is also running out. Very soon, the 2026 elections will start taking front and center. So he does not have that many options. Hence the shrillness going up all the time. Somewhere trying to do something to see if India will blink. And I think this is a time for being calm. You should not, respond back with, again, some other hyperbole. Let it be. Navarro is nobody in this administration. He's probably trying to see if he can get something. Or maybe they just said, okay, if you can move the needle, maybe we'll consider some role for you in that. I don't know. Even a mercurial Trump doesn't think Navarro is somebody who can, be an asset to his administration. And now we are also hearing that Besant and another member of the cabinet came to blows, close to blows. Same thing is supposed to happen with, I think, Elon Musk, if I remember correctly. So things are not, there are a lot of people under tremendous amount of pressure, and we don't know what's going to happen next. So long story short, US is beginning to get exposed to the problem, the malaise that already afflicts Europe. They are tied at the hip. You can't really keep them isolated. So cooler heads need to prevail. US needs to figure out how to tackle its $37 trillion debt. Yesterday, Sree Iyer talked about carry trade of Japan up to $20 trillion. $20 trillion. It's all in a funny state. Things are not good at this point of time. If trade talks take time, let them take time. US is looking and barking up the wrong tree. That's all I would say. Let's move on to the next topic.
Sure. There are the two lines to add, sir. I think you have put it brilliantly. This was what in my thought process. It's all comes up to how do you present the numbers. And there are ways of managing these numbers. If you start hitting the core of management of the numbers or presentation of the numbers, the real numbers might come up, which might be very ugly. Point number one. Secondly, the American tech has clearly told Trump, we cannot do without Indian manpower. They're very clearly told. So whatever you think or believe, sir, it may not work. You remember that incident of Zuckerberg where he just said 600 billion. He said, I was not prepared. I didn't know what to say. 600 billion just came out of my mouth. Third thing, that Trump, the provision which he's using is this International Emergency Economic Power Act, IEEPA. The problem with that act is it's a one odd weapon. It's not a weapon for all and all the time. So even if you impose it, you can go to court of law and get it stopped. And that is what is sending shivers down the Trump's spine. If courts overturn his decision, he has to possibly resign, or that will be the end of Donald Trump.
Oh, he'll have to pay back. The courts pay back the money.
Where will the money come from?
Already swaha in $37 billion debt.
Where will the money come from? So there is a lot of problems. It's not so easy. I don't know what games are they playing. I don't know why they are getting personal. I think it's getting personal. It's getting beyond logic. But I mean, let's leave it to them. I don't think they can afford to do that. I think a lot of disruptions will happen. And let me tell you one thing, sir. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I was reading something very funny today. There is this book, Bhavishyamalika. It has a lot of predictions. And one of the predictions which is in the book is that 25, 26, 27, 28, these 4 years are going to be pretty dangerous. And according to the book, a lot of things have not come true, by the way. The book is saying a big bomb, big one, might fall on New Delhi.
On New Delhi?
So, yeah. Within these 4 years. So, bada wala, which I mean. So, I don't know. I mean, things world over are getting crazy. Things are getting out of control. And there was even this madness had an order. We had some written rules. Some you will not see, some I will not see. You will not ask me, I will not question. We had these unwritten agreements. I think Trump is trying to disrupt everything. And look at this poor Japanese prime minister. He lost his job because of Trump. He lost his job because of Trump. And that is what Putin was saying that day. Mr. Trump, if these people start doing what you want them to do, their political careers are over. The people are going to throw them out. I mean, Japan is the first eventuality. Now, after Japan, everybody will be very careful. So that is the other part. Now, let's move to the second part. The second part is that Modi and China. Look, I have been looking at what exactly is happening within China. How does China see it? Modi went to China. SEO went, all the good things, photo ops, perfectly all right. Now, in China, there are a couple of people who have this couple of opinions. Now, there are 3 schools of thought which are prevalent in China. The first school of thought says, look, India and China coming together is a good thing. India and China working together is a good thing. We should work with India because India is where the future is. We should keep away from, United States of America, and China and India can jointly form an Asian bloc, which can be an alternate to a lot of things. And it is good what is happening. It's a step in the right direction, but we have to tread carefully. That is what they're happy about this, and they have high hopes about this. But there is another school of thought which is prevailing. He says, look, what happened looks good. What can be done? We don't know. What should be done? We need to really wait and watch. Basically, they say we don't trust India. Photo ops and all is good. We don't trust India. We should tread with caution. There is optimism, but there's a cautious optimism. It's exactly what we guys say, that we should tread with caution. There is optimism, but there's a cautious optimism which we should know. And looking at that cautious optimism, we should tread in with caution. And let's not expect too much out of it. Let's not look too much into it. Wait and watch how things go. Now, there is one more school of thought. There's a third school of thought, which says, look, this all is a drama. This all is a facade. Modi and Xi coming together is not change of heart. Modi ji and Xi coming together is because, America pushed you into this situation. for China and Bharat both, you guys got pushed into this situation. It is not you have a change of heart, you're best of friends and buddies. No, you got pushed. So even because of America's push, you kind of got into this position wherein you are talking to each other. So it is not a choice by nature; it's a choice by compulsion. And the problem of this compulsion is, if America wants tomorrow, it can just get one of you out of the equation. It can cut a deal, a sweeter deal with one, and second person can be lurching there. So now they are saying that, is America trying to use one over other? Because they argue that earlier America was trying to cut a deal with India, America was trying to cut a deal with China, right? Now after this thing, what America can do, it can antagonize one person completely and keep second person partially happy. Rather than keeping both the happy, now if you have formed a joint venture, I can keep him happy and I can antagonize him completely. Now, who will be antagonized? It is India or it is China. Depends on what is going in the mind of Donald Trump. So that is the thought. So they are saying, this is not good for India. This is not good for China. And in the long run, India or China, one of them can be a very big sufferer. Because by coming together, you have given them an opportunity to kind of choose one over the other, which was not there. So when I look at all these three schools of thoughts, I would go with the second one, where we have to be tread with caution. Cautious optimism is there, but again, there are serious debts. And if you look at the trust, there's a trust deficit between India and China. There's a trust deficit between Russia and China both. So in this world order, where we might be talking of RIC, but at the same time, we are not really RIC. And what came in today is exactly what we are going to talk this, because this was my thought process from the very beginning. Now today, Mr. Lula of Brazil organized a meeting, SCO meeting. He said, want all the SCO members to come and talk about these Trump's tariffs and how the world would handle it and how BRICS is going to manage it. Now, Xi Jinping kind of joined virtually from Beijing. Mr. Putin joined virtually from Russia, Moscow somewhere. Now, Modi ji chose not to join. India was represented by Dr. Jaishankar Saab. So what is India doing? India is saying, look, I'm not going to be a part of that, anti-West alliance also, but I will have my best man, that is Dr. Jaishankar, to attend. And like Modi ji chose not to be part of the parade, which was very smart. Modi ji chose not to be part of this anti-West alliance or banking group or whatever you want to call anti-West. He chose not to go. Dr. Jaishankar went. And what did Dr. Jaishankar say? Dr. Jaishankar gave a statement just now. He said, these barriers of trade are not acceptable, and SCO and BRICS will find a way to overcome these barriers. So that means, Sree sir, more trade between the BRICS countries, and that is exactly what Lutnick was warning you. Walk out of the BRICS, strengthen dollar. But here, the trade is going to happen more in the BRICS countries because you had put the trade barriers. So what is India doing? What China is very irritated. China is very irritated of the fact that a lot of the Chinese commentators are commenting, look, India has been able to maintain its strategic autonomy. India chose to go with America. America tried to show tantrums. India came with China. I mean, India-Russia relations are non-negotiable. They're always there. India came with China, but India did not enter the Chinese bloc also. We were not that part of that parade and RIC and all. And even when today, India has kept its options open with the West. We kept our options open with the West. India has very good relations with Europe. And even with the Americans, the options are open. India is not responding to the rhetoric. India is not doing that, brinkmanship. It's not doing that wolf-for-layer diplomacy. And even if you look at the statement of Dr. Jaishankar and decode it in that way, he's saying it's because of the trade barriers. Dr. Jaishankar is not saying because we have some problem, we have this animosity. It's because you are trying to put trade barriers. That is where the BRICS countries have to do more trade. That means if you don't have trade barriers tomorrow, then the business can be as usual. So this is a very sensitive and a calculated statement of Dr. Jaishankar. I mean, he has made it very clear it's because of the trade. It's not we are an anti-West alliance. You stop the trade, so we are finding alternates to trade, which we are ever right to do. But if you bring down the trade barrier, now this is going to put pressure back on Trump because the ball is back in Navarro's and Scott Bessent's and Trump's and Lutnick's court because you have decided to put the trade barrier. So if you increase the trade barrier, now tomorrow if you want to take services, you are increasing the trade barrier. So if you increase the trade barrier, then more local currency trade, then even an alternate BRICS currency may be contemplated. It may not happen, but people might start really thinking on that. Last episode I told you how many countries rupee is going, and exactly we discussed that. So I'm not going to repeat that. So this is a very important aspect which has kind of come up now. So this is where I rest my thoughts. So you want to add on, then we'll move to the next topic, sir.
Yes. So viewers, first off, we are having lesser than normal traffic for an important discussion like this one. And I'm looking at the like count. It is very, very low today. May I request all of you who are watching to please like this video. And we are shipping this book. We are almost caught up with all the orders. So if you have not got it, you'll be coming to you in a few days. We are almost completely caught up, and we are continuing to get a lot of support from you. We decided to sell it in 𝗏𝗏𝗏.com, and that's been a huge help. Thank you so much. We also have a new version of the reader app, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.com app. We have a new version which makes it even better, and we'll continue to enhance the reader. The new version helps you read it better in tablets and iPads. And there's another version that's coming, which is also going to improve some other things. So keep supporting us. You will be able to read the book, ebook fashion on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.com. And you can also get the paperback version, especially for India. You should be able to get it within a few days of ordering. You wanted to say something,
Sure. I'm telling you, this equation between Bharat and China is not a very stable equation. Let me put it very candid. It's a makeshift arrangement, I would call it. America knows it, Russia knows it, and there are a lot of people who will try to play around it, right? So it's very important for Bharat not to be a part of the system, but to be the key of the system. It's easier to be a part of the system like Pakistan and like, Islam. One is you be the key of the system, which opens or closes the system. And Bharat is doing the right thing by being the key of the system, not be the part of the system. And this is not what is going well with China. Now, even today, Xi Jinping was there, Putin was there. Modi ji chose not to go. He sent in this Dr. Jaishankar. And with UNGA, he's not going there, right? But this, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, Modi ji will be going there. Now, don't you find it a difference? He could have gone there online. He chooses not to go there. But for this Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea, possibly Modi ji will be going there. So, we are really collaborating such things at a, I think, hourly basis. Every hour we are trying to, calibrate our things.
Yes.
I am telling my brothers and sisters, sir, please do like our video. It's very important. We are on a platform where it is all driven by likes. You have to like our video, and we are trying our best to get you the best of the best things. So that is point number 2. Now let's move to the point number 3. Now BIT is Business Investment Treaty. What we are doing with Israel. It has been signed today. It is done by Nirmala Sitharaman and the Israeli finance minister. The good thing is India is now opening directly and talking of doing treaties with Israel. I'll give you some aspects. Now, what does this do? This opens the doors for a lot of private sector players to set up office here and there. The laws of the land protect you. They protect your IPR. They protect your investment. There are a lot of privileges which you get being an Israeli company opening in India and an Indian company opening in Israel. Now, this in the future will lead to a BTA, which has been discussed. Bilateral trade agreement or a free trade agreement, whichever way it goes, that is something in the kitty. It's a big step for Modi government because a lot of governments will shy away from doing government to government agreements with Israel. But Modi ji is sending a very clear message. I want to do agreements with Israel. I'm not shying away. I have to give you some numbers. Look, the trade between Israel and India was small. And in the last couple of years, it has doubled. It is around $4 billion today between the two countries. And the defense purchases, they are not part of this $4 billion. I think last year we did around $185 billion. Now, we are hoping in next few months, Sree sir, we should be able to do this BTA or FTA. Now, the trade will at least double or go 3 times. So, we are aiming at $8 to $12 billion of trade with Israel. And defense purchases will also go up because you will ask me why. It may not double or triple, but it will go to the tune of maybe $250 to $300 million because there's a lot of dual use equipment which Israel makes, which today we are not able to import because of the tariffs and duties and permissions and all that. But once this FTA or BTA gets signed, a lot of dual use technology, which we were initially only dependent on Germany and United States of America, can now come from Israel. So I think it's a very welcome move. And in the future, this trade can even quadruple. That is, it can go to around $16 or $20 billion. And let me also tell you, there are mega opportunities of rebuilding Gaza, which are coming up in Israel. So if we can be part of that kitty for builders and for people in the construction business can be part of that kitty, that should be also a substantial business, which we as India should look at. And man and mobility pacts are there. So in a way, under Modi government, our business relations, our trade, our defense cooperation, our dual use equipment cooperation with Israel is increasing. We are doing it, direct and explicit. We are not trying to be apologetic about it. That is what I like, because Israel and Russia have been always the best friends of India since, decades now. And it is time to reciprocate the favor, and it's time to acknowledge their friendship. So there are even talks of we might have a Israel-India kind of a bilateral summit. Not bilateral, this yearly summit. Again, these things are being contemplated so that cooperation can come in, and Israeli companies can invest in agriculture, they can invest in defense, and they can have a couple of other technologies, with sensor-based technologies where Israelis are very good. So that opens floodgates for Israelis and Israeli companies to come to Bharat and do business here, where it is like their second home. So that is a very important aspect where we are really doing that. Now, let me take you to the third aspect. This was a small update.
Before we go there, I just wanted to add one screenshot. Viewers, I was wrong. I thought it was 1.5 million per employee, $1 million per employee per year. Actually, this is Meta. This is Facebook. The earnings per revenue per employee is approximately $2.656 million.
Wow.
Just imagine, they are paying probably 250 to 300,000, maybe even 400,000 per employee, six-fold. And this is all happening because of what I told you, sleight of hand. Okay. And if this number goes down, then what happens? Their stock price will go down. And this is not unique to one stock. All stocks have the same. They're all doing the same jugaad. So what happens then? The stock market is going to correct. People say it will correct by 50%, 50. Today, the Dow is at 45,000. It will go down to 22,000.
50%, sir?
50%. 50%. Yes. I mean, I don't want to give you doomsday scenarios. This is not something which is, so simple that you just say, okay, I'll turn this thing off and then India will come to need. You are going to get hurt more than them. Understand this, United States.
That's what we have been telling. I don't know, somebody should listen to us and try to really do the numbers, and rather than letting Peter Navarro go wild. I hope somebody does that. So this is a very important input. 50%. I never thought. I may be 20. Oh my God, it's big. Okay. Then we move to the fourth part of our session, that is turmoil in Nepal. Nepal, you have to track back to SU. It's not a very old problem. It just started from SU. When SU happened, Sree sir, I was on PGurus. I told you there was one disturbing bilateral. I don't know what is Hindi or English. I said there was one that was between 𝗖𝗍𝗄 𝗔𝗍 and Xi Jinping. I told you that Nepal is trying to get full-fledged into, China is trying to get full-fledged into Nepal. They are talking to China for everything. They are talking to them for food, shelter, education, everything. China. Even BRI is being fast-tracked. They are building the rail track to Kathmandu. Everything is depending on China. And I was very clear that this is courtesy the great favors Dr. Manmohan Singh ji and Sitaram Yechuri ji gave this country. The most pleasing gift is when in UPA 1, Manmohan Singh ji literally outsourced Nepal to Shriman Sitaram Yechuri ji, and he literally gave it to the China. And this is we are bearing those repercussions. If you look at 𝗖𝗍𝗄 government, the government is supported by Nepalese Congress, which is pro-India. What did these people do? That is our stake in the government, right? And even if you look at Prachand, they're all pro-China. They're all pro-China. And there was this infamous Chinese ambassador lady who was considered to be more powerful than the president and prime minister of Nepal. And there was a lot of talk of this.
Very friendly with Rahul Gandhi also.
And there was a talk of honey trapping. Friendly, sir. Both dosti, yari dosti. Mitrata. And there was a lot of talk about this honey trapping also about the lady. Then when the things became too viral, they pulled her back. Now the position is as it is. What did China? I think, again, she wanted absolute control in China. The SCO bilateral happened. I flagged it up on PGurus. I am very sure I flagged it up on PGurus. I think there's something we should watch. Something didn't happen good there. Because of all the bilaterals, there were some bilaterals which were blatantly against India's interest. Now, after Mr. Sharma Oli is back to town, sir, 4th September, he comes with the ordinance. He says, I am banning 26 apps. And out of 26 apps, 90% are American apps. Facebook, Insta, Twitter, YouTube, everything and any, those, I think even those Microsoft Office, if I'm not wrong, anything and everything which connects you to the external world. None of the Chinese apps except Weibo got banned, and even Weibo's ban will go out. That's what the people are saying. Now, suddenly when this was put, so what is Oli trying to do? He's trying to get Nepal only attuned to Chinese propaganda and Chinese malice and Chinese media. So only solace for the people of Nepal and the youth of Nepal was they have a WhatsApp, they can talk to India, they can watch PGurus today, they can be on Insta, they can be on Facebook, they can be on X, they will know what is happening, right? Now, if you close everything and what you will get is a Chinese flavored social media there. Now the youth was going crazy. And what we came to know that youth started a protest. The protest, a few thousand went, Generation Z, what we call them, they started hitting the streets. And suddenly the protest turns violent. And somebody has shot bullets. Police says we have not. Army is deployed. 19 kids are dead. 19 kids are dead.
19 kids?
Yes, sir, dead, gone. And there are around 52 which are injured. Some of them are believed to be critically injured. Now, if you look how they were killed, it is not straightforward. It is believed some group infiltrated police, when this scuffle happens, and then this group fired at the kids. It's exactly the Bangladesh model which they are trying to replicate here. What happened in Bangladesh with Sheikh Hasina? Same thing. Student protest. They came in, police did not fire. Some Jamatis entered the crowd. Jamatis did the firing. The blame came on police, and then army was called in. Then the blame came on army. Finally, the buck stopped at Sheikh Hasina. Sheikh Hasina had to go. Now, if you look at the sequence of events, the sequence of events looks like the app ban was completely to favor China. They only wants to have the Chinese media. Even he's pushing people to learn Mandarin. Chinese media, Chinese propaganda as to be taught in the Nepal only. He's banning them from anything else which connects them to the out of the world, including YouTube. Can you believe it? He's banning YouTube. And so only Chinese Weibo and TikTok and all will do. And now Chinese TikTokers are using this opportunity to get more and more youth to the people. It's exactly how they were provocating Americans to pick up a gun and start killing Americans. Exactly that is happening in Nepal right now. People are pissed off. 19 kids are dead. 52 are more injured. Some of them very critically injured. The death toll is likely to go up. Army is being called in. Now, what is the analysis? The analysis looks to be first Bangladesh, then they tried in Indonesia. It didn't work there. Now they are trying it here. Now, who is behind it? I think China was trying to, control minds and hearts of the youth, of the Nepalese people. Generation Z revolted. And the people who can be fomenting trouble are possibly, maybe, I don't know, is CIA behind it? Who's behind it? We don't know who's behind it. Possibly some foreign intelligence agencies behind it. And Nepal has a border with UP and Bihar. Bihar is going to elections pretty much soon. Nepal is the only side where ISI still has existing routes. Nepal is the most dangerous place for an agent. If you're an agent, you should never visit Nepal. It's more dangerous than Pakistan and Afghanistan. All the intelligence agencies of the world have assets in Nepal. So look at Bihar elections. They are already talking of SIR. They are talking of vote show. They are talking of accession compromise. And there are a lot of districts of Bihar where they have borders with Nepal. And in these districts of Bihar, which have borders with Nepal, a lot of voters have been shunted out because of SIR, which is a logical process. Now, when you draw the dots, looks to be it is something big which is being brewed in Nepal. I don't know who is playing whom. I think there is a fight between the agencies now. Chinese tried to pull something. It's exactly what happened in Bangladesh. Americans tried a coup. They could not. Then finally, Chinese could manage to pull a coup. Maybe Chinese here tried to pull something. Americans don't want it to happen. Americans are trying to kind of pull the rug backwards. But at the end of the day, it's a turmoil. It's a complete media blackout. It's a things which Sharma Oli wants to kind of cut Nepal from the rest of the world. And obviously, the man who is behind it is Xi Jinping. I have no doubts on it. And but who killed the student? Because the police is saying we did not. And exactly what is the word of caution here is that Bharat has to be very careful with it. Look, there are a lot of people who act like sheep, but they are real jackals. At the time of 𝗥𝗘𝗙, somebody provoked a lot of kids. Somebody provoked a lot of kids. And we had this ruckus in Bihar. I would hand-foldedly request youth of India. There are a lot of sensitive issues going on. Even this SSC exams and all. We can have problems. We can have things. Do not hit the roads. Do not get violent. Do not get provoked. There are people who will try to provoke you. There are people who will try to get you violent. There are people who will try to replicate Bangladesh. Then they could not do in Indonesia. They're trying it in Nepal. They can try it in India. The word of caution with due respects and folded hands to Government of India is, I think this is a playbook which is being tried in Nepal, and it might soon be tried to be imported into India. And youth of India, you cannot be pawns on the game of chess. You have to be very, very careful what the people intend you to be used to. Because I think the whole idea right now is to topple Modi's government at any cost. Any cost. There are personal stakes, there are professional stakes, and at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who know now they cannot win an election. They know they cannot win an election. So how to get rid of Modi? You can't win an election. You can't fight to win the election. This is the best way to get rid of Modi. So I think something is going here, because I have not seen in a day in Nepal, and I have traveled 20, 30 times to Nepal. I have never seen people so violent there. I have never seen this level of protest there. I have never seen so many bullets being fired there. Last time so many bullets were fired when one of the prince killed his family. After that, I have not seen Nepal firing bullets. And remember, Sree sir, I told you Nepal objected to this Lipula junction, tri-junction between India, China and Nepal, where we said we want to send trade through that. I was surprised, why did KP only object to that? He should have talked to us. He should have talked to Modi ji. Why did he bring it up to Xi Jinping? That is where my suspicion needle got, my radars got up. Why did he talk to him? So something is happening there. And honestly, in communism, violence is an accepted part of the statecraft. They don't mind if a few hundred people get killed even. So what is happening in Nepal, we have to be very, very careful. I think we have to wait and watch what happens. And if there are some Pakistanis involved, if the ISI has a role in it, I won't be surprised. ISI has assets. ISI has people in Nepal. ISI can get things out of control if given the right directions by the right people. So is the ISI involvement? I don't know. I can't rule out. Because what happens today, knowing Nepal, by my first-hand experience, going there 10 years constantly, every quarter I was having at least one trip to Nepal. Sir, I don't think it is organic. It's not how Nepalese behave and work. It is something which is orchestrated. Youth had a right to protest, but you had no right to kill 20 kids. That is my take on it.
Thank you so much. And there's a lot of things going on. China believes in trade and war at the same time. This is one of the tactics that Sun Tzu says, that you should do both. So on the one side, you say, oh, we are enjoying excellent relations with India, but go and do something in Nepal, which will trigger chaos, because Nepal borders Bihar, and they really, really want to somehow steal that election. And SIR has come in their way in a very decisive way, I must say. And the SIR is going to be repeated. Look at that rant that Mamta is going after, that, BJP is insulting Bengalis. What bullshit are you talking about? Can't control anybody. You can't control your own mouth, for God's sake. And then you want to talk. So she knows, with SIR being strictly implemented, chances of coming back to power are very, very little. Stalin is also on another trip. That guy also could be sorted out. So a lot of things are going on. We have to, first of all, don't read every news and get excited by it. You have a job to do. You will not lose your job as long as you do your job well. There are some times when you might lose your job despite you doing the best job. That's karma. Unfortunately, we need to be aware of that, but at the same time, don't lose sleep over, this goes on here, that goes on there. At least India is being very matured in this whole process, and I'm kind of a little disappointed with the way things are playing out in the Republican Party and Trump administration. It's see. Notice that JD Vance is not talking much again now. He's also
Marco
got
Rubio is not.
not saying much. Yeah.
I always had my hopes on Marco Rubio. I think he seemed quite upfront to me. And Rubio and JD Vance have kind of withdrawn into a shell. They're not talking much. They're not commenting much on this. So, I mean, there are a lot of things we can't control, brothers and sisters. Whatever happens is for your own good. Don't worry. There is nothing you have done wrong. And there's nothing we have done wrong. But dekha jayega. You know what we say in Hindi, we'll see. We'll cross the bridge when we reach it. There's nothing much you can do. I think I agree with Sree sir. India has been handling it very diligently. And Modi ji's, steps on every aspect, even not going for that Lula's meeting today is strategic. You have to compliment the government for that.
Thank you. And now it takes questions. Magnet wants to know, who do you think tutored the Brahmin profiting narrative? Surely it isn't something familiar in US.
Soros. Very simple. This is Soros' playbook. And there are talks that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is in Malaysia. And there are some rumors which suggest there are some allegations that Alexander Soros is there, Alex Soros, whatever his name is, he's there. Zakir Naik is there. Interesting characters.
𝗤𝙧𝗫𝗏 ji, thank you so much for your super sticker. Prashant Sundar wants to know, any inputs on RaGa's secret visit to Malaysia?
It's a telepathy. I just told you that, and somebody is telling me that some of the Trump's lieutenants might be also there. Look, these are all source-based informations. We cannot validate them. We cannot sure it is. But there's a buzz in the town, and why does it happen when Mr. Gandhi leaves for India for abroad? There's some disruption which happens in India. A lot of people even ask that. A lot of people ask that in the media. Why does it happen? It's a favorite topic in the TV debates. So I don't know. I mean, let's see. And thanks for asking.
Rome Mind wants to know, sir, suddenly Nepal chaos, Indonesia erupting, Soga no to Nicobar. I don't know what that is. Grumble Sam and Cheese together, activating sleeper cells to create chaos around US. Are we prepared to handle any orchestrated chaos?
Well, brother, is there an option? We have to. The only thing which is very important right now is the people should be aware. I've been appealing to youth again with folded hands. You don't have to get worked out. Any provocation, please don't get worked out. We can settle it. We can work it out. It may take us 1 month here and there, but lives lost are lives lost. They cannot be brought back. So don't get provoked. And there have been a lot of people who have provoked people, sir, in the past. I don't want to name them, but people can guess who these idiots are. And they look so naive. Huh? They look so naive. They look so ignorant. Array, sir. But very dangerous people. And
yeah, go ahead.
I just have to say this. Once I went to Air Force Base, there was one sticker at the gate. It said, enemy agents don't look alien. Remember this. It will not be a Peter Parker with those pointed ears and that hat on his head. It will be somebody like you and me who will look just normal as any person on the road. So watch out. Looks can be deceptive.
Naresh wants to know, are we getting into a dream of California dream like an Inception movie? Is it going into a whirlpool of disaster moves from US?
I hope, sir, it has somewhere stopped, because there's a school of thought which is telling us now that Trump may not be in the best of the health. Trump may have already known that he might have this much of time and this much of time in power, this much of time and this much of time in power. So in such a situation, some person might decide to go all chips in. So this can be a situation which we are looking. We don't know. This is a hypothesis. This is a POV. We can be looking at this situation as well. Because whatever is happening, sir, is not logical. Doesn't make any sense.
Next one, please. Aprameya wants to know, should India retaliate on the US big tech companies since we need big tech for the semiconductor business?
Look, India has not retaliated on the goods part because it was not beneficial for us, and the RBI was very clear that there's no need to do it. But on the services part, I think India has to retaliate. India will retaliate because now you're hitting below the belly, and that is something which is not fair. So then India has to retaliate. We can be taxing all these services. It's going to get murkier after that. If we start, this is going to get murkier. Look, let's not forget, $65 to $85 billion a year American companies are clocking revenue from India. I've been telling this number from the very first day. Again, those numbers will get impacted, brother. This is not going to be a cakewalk.
Next one, please. Milburn Cherian wants to know, do you think that the British royals and Cuba cabal are putting Modi under pressure to stay away from Trump? No, I don't think so. British royals are spent force. Yeah.
Spent forces are Fukawa Kardus. They are not those.
Yeah.
But there are people who are desperately trying to get Modi's government dismissed because they know they cannot defeat Modi in an election. So how to get rid of him? They have to find something like this and create a man-made disaster and put it on Modi, like they put it on Hasina. And they say, sorry, no, time over.
Jaya Raman wants to know, Sumitji, will India survive these services getting taxed? What is the future of India? Our opposition would go hammer and tongs against Modi. Really saddened.
We'll survive, ma'am. I've done my analysis. The numbers will be in single digits. The profit will be in single digits. Our big companies will survive. Mid-tiers will have a small problem. Overall, the startups and the smaller ones might have more problems, but we'll survive. We may end up in 9, 8, 9, 10% margin. We may not have 23 and 25. Even at 50% tariff, my calculation says we will survive. But the industry won't be the shining star or the jewel of the crown. It will be a survival. It will be surviving. And by the grace of God, we'll find our ways to get over things. There are a lot of sectors which we are doing fantastically well. But, this is something, if you know Mahabharata, when Duryodhan went to see Ma Gandhari, he wore that his briefs when he was told clearly not to come without that. Bhagavan Shri Krishna knew that at the joint here, pelvic bone, he doesn't have that iron protection. He told Bhim, keep on hitting there. So Bhim keeps on hitting there, Duryodhan collapses. So that is what we typically are seeing here. You know where the point is. It's not logic. You're trying to hit there to collapse, to put Modi under pressure. This is not fair. This is not going to go well. That is my limited take on this. But industry will survive. Economy will survive. We might lose 1 or 2 points of growth, but still we will be there. But at the same time, we have to be very, very careful, not about America, but to be very, very careful about China. I'm repeating myself, very, very careful about China. China is the most dangerous thing around you, not America. Still, you know how to handle them. China would be very good.
Jaya, thank you so much for your super sticker. Next one. Thank you, Subhayaji. Once, why don't you interview Mr. Karunakaran of Shiv Shakti and Praveen Kumar of ex-Christian channels? Yeah, that's something on our agenda. We will get to that soon. Next one, please. Sajid Kumar, thank you so much. Sriji, you might want to educate the 3 good generals, especially MSD, that 400 billion with 30% of India's private jobs is at stake, and Trump is a mental. Look, these are all threats, verbal threats. I told you that this is going to directly hit the stock market numbers, and that would make everybody in US feel poorer. It's not that you are selling the stock today and losing it or something. It's a state of mind. Okay. So this is just a threat, in my opinion. Let's wait and see how it plays out.
I think, my friend, look, if you kill Indian market, you're also going to lose a chunk of it. You're also going to have a repercussions there. Now, with this economy and with this legal problems that Trump government is in, the approval ratings are all-time low. Your allies are deserting you. Do you want to go for the kill? That is the important aspect. Because I don't think American tech will allow it. I don't think these big American, like big rocks of the world and all, they want to mess around like this. They will not allow Trump to do it. But Trump is Trump. But, there is a possibility, but I would not say it's a probability today. So there's a difference between possibility and probability.
Ganesan wants to know, dear sir, why are we importing more Russian oil required for India and exporting the processed oil to EU? Are we doing the right thing? Yes, it gives you foreign exchange. It also, it's a critical need for them. They need it. What are you going to do? What's wrong in that?
Sir, we are doing national global service, sir. If we don't do it, your MDS will sell the barrel for $200. Go and buy from him. I have no problem. That's why I challenged Trump. I said in your PGurus channel, Mr. Trump, why don't you sanction the Russian oil? Why are you singling us out? Sanction the Russian oil, na? If you have the guts, sanction the Russian oil. You know you cannot sanction. It is just we are being.
𝗏𝗏𝗫 wants to know one major doubt. Last whole year you have been talking about China is imploding and going to go down. Suddenly, new Indo-China looks promising in your discourse. We are not saying anything of that nature. It is a transactional thing. Yeah.
We are saying we are recalibrating our relations. We are just warming up to China. We are not saying, I'm even just, sir, 1 second before, I said the biggest threat to India is still China. Around a minute back on this live program, I said the biggest threat to India, you can still handle US, but you have to be very, very careful about China. Didn't I say that, Sree sir, around a minute back? So China has its problem that, if you look at the elephant in the room, if the world is a room, the elephant in the room is China. Xi Jinping is 10 times more dangerous than Donald Trump.
Next one, please. Shankar VK, thank you so much. Protest by NGO Hami Nepal. Donors are Pak company Daraz, owned by Alibaba. Wow.
Lillah, aage ISI. Here is the ISI link. Here is the ISI link. I was telling you there will be ISI somewhere. Hami Nepal, donors are Darus, owned by Alibaba. Wow. So China link, Pakistan link. So Chinese intelligence and Pakistani intelligence trying to cause ruckus in Nepal. It's a fantastic, Shankarji. Thanks for this. Hami Nepal, because this is what I was thinking, that there will be ISI link somewhere. I have seen Nepal, sir. They are not violent. The people are very humble. I don't think if 2,000 kids get on the road, the police will kill 20 of them. That's not how Nepali police behaves. Forget what they show in Hollywood movies or not, but on the ground, on my first-hand experience for 10 years, these are not the people like that. So here is the link. Is okay. Park. Okay.
Fabian wants to know, why doesn't India absorb Nepal? Nepal wanted to join India in 1947. The king wanted to also join India. Nehru said no. If you go back, it's like, how many things can this guy get wrong? See, he said he does not want Kalat because it was not geographically attached to India. But Nepal was geographically attached to India. Why did you not do it?
Even Balochistan came. Even Balochistan came. He said no to Balochistan. Yeah. But why did he say no to Nepal? Offered, sir.
Kalat, right? Kalat is the thing that's now become Balochistan.
So, Nepal, no reason. 100% Hindu country, no reason. Nothing doing. I don't know. Even Bhutan should have been given off at that point of time.
Next one, please. Muthukumar wants to know, can unknown gunmen be of use in Nepal? Should Bharat be working for some sort of regulation along Nepal's border? Your views?
I think we are already tightening the Nepal border. A lot of things have been done. But the connection is so seamless that in some villages, you can just go to Nepal, buy a loaf of bread and come back. In UP and Bihar, there are some villages which are like that. Everybody there says, I have visited a foreign country. They will joke. Kahan gaye the? Subah chai peene Nepal gaya. So they will just go to have a cup of tea and come back. So because of this civilizational connect, there are a lot of vulnerabilities. I've been highlighting on TV debates and on YouTube channels that there are more than 600 villages around, Nepal border where the demography is changing. And later on, thankfully, even Mr. Amit Shah acknowledged in one of these discussions that we are looking into it. So it was all done systematically, and there are people who are facilitating it. Why is SR only troubling the opposition? This answers everything.
So they have had this strategy of strategically moving people to those constituencies that were close in one election. Then they put like 10-20% extra, and then they think that now we can swing it our way because they know that this block will vote as it is. There is some interesting information coming out of Malegaon Central. Did you see that one? At least 200 fake voters. That was won by a margin of 4,000 votes.
Sir, if you look at Bihar, 30 to 40% seats are won at 3,000. and balance 30, 40, 45% are won at 5,000 vote margin. And you know how few thousand people placed at the right constituency can mean.
Right, right. Next one, please. Thank you, Sree Iyer. Extremely worrying times. Would imposing emergency be an effective solution for India? I don't think so. It's already working like that. Right now, we have much better coverage of things. We know what's going on. And it's
We know.
the more the opposition screams, the more it means that Indian government is effectively cutting off or warding off some of the threats. Okay, you will never see India putting a score saying today 5 attempts of arson were prevented, 6 terrorist incidents were stopped. You don't see all that. It's the one that slips through that you all see.
I think we are doing the right thing. Only thing is, ma'am, that people need to be aware. That is why we always say like, share, and subscribe. We always say put this in your WhatsApp groups, put with a recommendation that people should see it. You know, YouTube is the only media where you can get this much of information. I go on so many TV debates. How much do I talk in a half an hour? 3-4 minutes in 26 minutes debate. That's typically a debate is 3 to 4 minutes maximum. How much can I talk in 3 to 4 minutes? Do you think I get so much of liberty to explain things in detail? No. And do you think I get an opportunity to talk to you? No. That only happens on YouTube. So YouTube is a powerful media, and but it has its own rules. And if you people help us, and if you people think we are doing a good job, you should at least try to promote it on your WhatsApp groups. That's something you can do.
Thank you, Paromarai. And that brings us to a close of today's program. Now let's take the Ashirwad of Mahadevji. Thank you so much, Sumitji.
Thank you very much, sir. Please like, share, subscribe, press the bell icon, click on all the 4. And your like and your forward and your sharing on your social media and your WhatsApp groups means a lot to us. Helps the mission a lot. And I'm sure you're going to do it. On that note, Bharat Mata ki Jai, Vandhe Mataram. Om Namah Parvati Pataya. Har 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 Mahadev.